Eklavya made a statue of Dronacharya out of mud. And to this statue, and then he kept this statue in his mandir, and he used to watch it and used to praise it all the time. He used to keep watching it and he used to keep worshipping it. And always used to pray in his mind that Gurudev, please teach me the art of archery. By your grace, let me learn the art of archery. Always keep this in mind. You can channelize any other person's energy or vibrations into yourself. When you think about that person, that is the reason whenever you think wrongly, your energy also decreases. You also decrease the energy of the other person. By thinking good, we increase our own energy as well as the energy of the other person. Now let me tell you, by doing a study of all of this, a writer who comes from the West, Timothy Galloway, wrote a book which is called The Inner Game of Tennis. This writer has many a times done this experiment that he takes people with him into the snow mountains. That means in the mountains where there is snow accumulated. Whatever icy games are being played in that region, like tennis or any other games played on ice, and what he does is he makes two groups of people. One of the groups plays the real game, which they play with actual tennis rackets and actual tennis ball. And one person gets the other group to sit down and imagine that they are playing the actual game. He asks them to imagine that they are on a steep turn and it's hard to get through. To ski on that ice, that means the game in which you slide on the ice. In this game, you have to slide on the ice. So while playing this game, you imagine that there is such a steep turn that you would surely fall. But you have to be capable enough to take that turn and visualize yourself that you are playing with the ease of a professional. So he explains you about the power of visualizing things. So two teams are made, just as I said earlier. One team that is playing the real game with real gadgets, and one team is playing an imaginary game with imaginary gadgets. And every time it was found that people who are playing the imaginary game are playing better compared to the people who are playing the actual game. So when the real game is being played, the people who are playing the imaginary game are actually playing better than the people who are playing the real game. And the imaginary players are more successful at it. The Western author Timothy Galloway says that this is the power of visualization, the power to visualize oneself. Whatever you think about inside your brain or whatever you imagine in your mind, slowly, gradually that thing will start occurring in the outer world. That is the reason when you think about illness in your mind, that some disease may occur or this accident may occur. Many people tell me, Maharaj, we thought about this. Since 3 months, I could visualize that some kind of accident is going to occur and the accident actually happened and I am now fractured. So I was thinking to myself, this thought which you had that you may have an accident, this is not any kind of prophecy that you had. Your mind has now been trained in the negative way of thinking that you have accepted in your life. And when you repeat these negative thoughts in your life, the repetition that occurs, which is on a loop, the continuous repetition of this negative thought is the reason why this accident happened. So if something bad can happen out of repetitive thinking, something good can also happen out of the same thinking. So it depends. Every time you keep thinking that my enemies are troubling me, my neighbors or my peers are troubling me, the whole world is troubling me, I am facing poverty, I am facing pain. If you keep repeating this, then you are going to attract the same thing. And this thing is not taught to us by the Western world. It's us who taught this to the Western world. Let me give you an example. Eklavya didn't gain any knowledge from Dronacharya. Never did Eklavya see that how Dronacharya taught archery to his students. Eklavya had never experienced what this is. Still, he established the idol of Dronacharya and he used to worship that idol every day and used to say to it that Gurudev, please let me have your knowledge of archery. He used to watch that idol and imagine that he used to get energy out of it. He thought he's gaining energy out of the idol. And then suddenly one day he turned into such a great archer that Arjun, the another great archer, thought Eklavya was better than him. So what Dronacharya did, he asked Eklavya to give his thumb as Guru Dakshina. Because to be able to do archery, to use the bow and arrow, the thumb plays a very important role. It is impossible to do archery without the thumb. So he asked for the thumb, which was the most important. The power that a person possesses through his knowledge and his skill can be channelized into yourself just by focusing on it or by thinking about it. As Patanjali says, Yama, Niyama, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, etc. These are Ashtanga Yoga, and why we trust them in India is because our culture has inculcated this. Because in Yam and Niyam, non-violence, truth, etc. are the numerous type of principles that our Rishi, our Munis have given us. And these have been followed by all the honest people, the people who believe in honesty, people who live an honest life. These people separated themselves from the earth and became a separate soul, or they turned into the people who own or rule the world. So whenever you follow any principle and you follow it with all of your trust, then all the victories of the universe will be at your feet. They will be bowing down to you, and the example of Ekalavya is the best.